Hi, my name's Philip Horst, and I'm just going to do a short tutorial on within Terramodel. One of the things we're going to look at is how to do a matrix command, which essentially takes a line and draws parallel lines to it, to a baseline or to a line, and draws parallel lines to it at any given distance interval. So we'll go ahead and do that. The next thing we're going to do is we're also going to look at the export function. So if we were designing a drainage system, exporting it out to the AMW software, how to pick what layers to get exported. We'll do that at the end of the video as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn off my points. I have the points, the topo points in here. I'm just going to go ahead and turn those off. So I'll go to the L set and go down, type in P on the keyboard, go down to points and uncheck the visibility on that. So I'm going to go ahead and let's say I want to draw a main. I'm going to go ahead and change it to 8-inch import. 8-inch import is the layer I'm going to draw on. Let's just draw an 8-inch into here, and then I'm going to change this to 6-inch import, and I'm going to go to the end of this and alright, we'll just leave it like that for now. Next I'm going to do is change this to the 4-inch import, and I'm going to draw an angle. So let's say we want to go on an angle, something like that. Now I want to go ahead and do multiple angles across the field like that. So there's a command called matrix, and if I type in X on the keyboard, X for matrix, and enter, it should pull it up. It's also in draw, I believe it's just trying to find it here, in edit and matrix to manually pick it up off the drop down. Select the line, the baseline, or the alignment that you want to do multiple parallel lines to. The columns, so the rows you'll leave, the columns you're going to type in the number of offsets. So I'm going to say 10 there. This is the number of parallel lines. Horizontal is the horizontal alignment. So when I left click on the horizontal button, I'm going to pick graphically on the screen, I'm going to pick the bearing of either one of these ends. So in my case, I'm going to pick the northeast end of this line. The bearing changes down here at the bottom. Then I'm simply going to do a right click anywhere in the screen and select bearing plus angle. I'm going to left click on that. Now the bottom of my screen changes, or my command line changes, and I'm going to type in 90. 90 will be a right angle away from the line. A negative 90 would be a left direction left away from that line. Say OK to that. Hit the vertical, and this is the distance between the this is the tile spacing. So I'm going to say OK to that and OK, and I've got 10 lines that are parallel to each other. If I'm going to go the other way, I'm just going to do another command. Let's say 20 lines that way, horizontal, pick it up again, right click, bearing plus angle, and I'm going to say negative 90 this time because I want to go to the left of that line. Say OK, hit the vertical to change your spacing. I used 20 the last time, I'll use 20 again, and there we go. So now we can go ahead and do our normal trim and extend functions. We're going to do an extend. And if I do a trim we'll snip these back. Alright. If we wanted to extend these up here to this, any particular watershed line, we can also just draw a fake line across the watershed and extend these lines to what we got going. In this case, we might have a line along the boundary. I'm just going to go ahead and trim them right, or extend them right up to this boundary. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and delete this line. Now let's suppose I want to export this out to the field. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go File and Export Upload. I'm going to pick this AGPS-background, and this is a custom script, so you may or may not have this on your export list. Where do we want to put it? I'm going to just drop it on my desktop for now. File name here is Howick Farm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say background. I always do that just to indicate that this is a background drawing for AMW. Hit save, hit next. We need to let Terramodel know, or let this export script know, what we actually want to output. So pick objects. Down at the bottom here we can just, you know, pick objects. That's very slow and tedious, so instead of doing that, I'm going to select based on layer. So I'm going to type in L for layer, and the select objects should change to layers at the bottom. Hit spacebar, and what we should get is a list of layers. I know that the 3 layers I want are those 3, and let's see, I might want the 2PE as well. And you know, the other thing I might want is the contours, those 2 contours. Alright, let's say OK, and next, and export and finish. I'm going to minimize this. It should have dumped it out on the desktop. And there we go. That's what it exported. There's a number of different ways to do that and look at that. I'm going to go ahead and open the AMW software on the desktop. Say OK to this and start. And what I'd like to do is switch jobs, so I'm going to go to a different job. I know I have one in here called Howick Farm. I'm also going to go and change my instrument in here because I'm in simulation mode. I'm going to go right to the bottom. Alright, so those are the points I collected. We don't really need those points, but we can look at them. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a different job and simply make a new job and say P, do nothing. Now let's go to Instrument menu and edit the control point file, replace this file with another file. We made a new job, so what I'm doing is I need to pull in this control point file. Initial control point, because we're in the simulation mode, that's what we end up with. Now, we can also pull in that background drawing. So we're going to go to background drawing file control, and I'm going to build from a DXF file. Remember, we exported out of Terramodel and we saved it as Howick Farm-background. And it'll process the data. And it should pull it in as a background. And there we go. So, a number of ways of doing that. We could leave the contours out if we so chose. We can bring them in if we want. So hope that helps. Call me anytime if there's any questions on this.